Welcome back to Rowdy's Prints. I'm Eric, and this weekend we had an amazing opportunity to drive down to Daytona Beach, Florida to do a last minute, at least to us, craft fair. We saw an opening on Facebook. The attendance looked like it was going to be outstanding. About 9,000 people were interested in the page, and I have to say it was our biggest success to date. Not a lot of things to compare it against, but overall, a very good weekend for us. So stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it. We had about 24 hours of advance notice before we headed out for Daytona. So with that in mind, we had to make a decision on what we wanted to print to take down that we didn't already have in our inventory. And the answer to that always seems to be dragons. They are far and away our most popular item, and that is exactly what we decided to print. So we were able to print about 30 more dragons to take down to the event, and it didn't take us long to get packed once everything was done, only about an hour or so to get everything in the boxes and ready to go. The next morning, it was an early wake up, and we started loading everything into the Jeep. And by we, I mean me. Angie had to run some errands in the morning before we headed out. And I gotta say, the game of Jeep Tetris always gets more and more interesting as we print more and more objects. I'm hoping now that the Christmas item rush is done, we can make a little bit more room in the vehicle for other items. It's 7:30 in the morning, and we are off to our next craft fair. We're headed to Daytona Beach, Florida. Our game of Jeep Tetris is finally complete. Everything is loaded up, and we are ready to go.
7 hours later.
Setting up seems to get easier and easier every time we do this. Right now, it takes us about 40 to 45 minutes to set everything up and go from nothing to what you see here. We were able to get set up about an hour ahead of time, which was a good thing because we started receiving customers nearly an hour early. If you have any better suggestions for ways to display the items that we have on the table, I'd love to see it. Please put a comment down there or a link if you have an item that you think would help us out. We had some incredible foot traffic for the event. Overall, we had 48 paying customers, and our grand total, which we'll talk about at the end, was something that was about twice what we did our last craft fair. So we're very satisfied with that. And again, the biggest draw that we had today was the 3D printer out in the front. So if you've got your own 3D printing business and you're doing these craft fairs, I cannot stress to you enough how big of a deal it is to have that 3D printer out there. People just seem to swarm to it. And I think a good chunk of our sales were because of that 3D printer out there. If you're interested in seeing what the foot traffic looked like for the duration of the day, check out the link in the description, which will take you to the full time lapse from the entire day. But overall, extremely satisfied with the foot traffic and the feedback that we received. One of the more frustrating items of the day was the credit card reader. So we use GoDaddy for our hosting service for our website, and they also provide the payment service processing for credit cards and debit cards for our business. Unfortunately, today, GoDaddy did an update at around 3:30 p.m., which just so happens to be 30 minutes before our craft fair ended. This update ended up disabling our credit card reader for the last 30 minutes of the day. We still were able to conduct a few cash sales, and I don't think we really lost out on anything, but again, very disappointed with GoDaddy. We didn't receive any kind of notification that this was happening, and for a while there, we thought we may have lost all of our credit card sales. So very frustrating, but in the end, we did get to keep the money. We've called them, and it was a wide outage that didn't affect just us. One of the best tips that I've seen out there for these events is do not pack up before the end time. We probably had, in the last 30 minutes, about 10 people come through and check out the booth. You can see not just our neighbor, but a number of people are already loading up, and the event's not even over yet. So cannot stress enough, make sure that you wait until the last minute to pack up. And on the subject of packing up, Our time at the craft fair has come to an end, so it's time to pack up and head home. While it took us 45 minutes to set up, it took us less than 30 to pack up everything and tear it down. So I think we're getting better at it every time we do it, and I hope we can get a little bit faster in the future with a little bit better display options, which again, please leave something down there in the comments if you have any suggestions on ways to display just a little bit better and cleaner. So now, the answer to the question, how did we do at our third craft fair? Well, let's break it down. We did $481.50 in total sales across 48 customers. Now, expenses, we had $69 for the entry fee, about $20 on gas, and that brings our total expenses up to $89. I haven't had a chance to see what our profit would be based off of material expenses alone, but I estimate it to be somewhere in the ballpark of $250 to $300 profit based off of material costs. Well, folks, that's all we have for you today. Again, very successful day for us, and I could not be happier with the turnout and the business that we did. We met a lot of amazing people, made some great sales, and maybe we'll have the opportunity to do it again here shortly. In the meantime, if you like the content that you see, please subscribe. As a small YouTube channel, every like and every subscribe and every view means double to us. So thank you guys for your support, and we look forward to talking to you again.